turned out, and vice versa? Are there any that you worked on that for whatever reason ended up on the cutting room floor, so to speak?
Wow. You know, for every one that I've seen through to completion, there's got to be 10 that were never made. I've often thought it would be cool to do a book of, like, the lost toy designs of the Turtles, because there's literally a filing cabinet in my office full of that stuff. And, but some of the ones that I remember most fondly are, like the Star Trek Turtles. They're an example of how ridiculous things became, but was still kind of cool, you know? And I remember at the time, because the way we used to work with Playmates is that you have to work like a year ahead of time with the production and everything. So they'd think, like, they get a list together like, okay, here are the TV shows and the movies that are coming out next year. So let's think if we can kind of like spring off any of that stuff. So anything you could think of that was coming out during the time when the Turtles were hot, there were turtle designs based on that.
The Happy Birthday Turtles, did you do that?
I did not do the Happy Birthday Turtles. I did not do the Farmer Turtles. All the ones that are kind of really generic looking, no, I didn't do that. But like the funny thing about the Star Trek ones was that in addition to the Spock and Kirk and whatever, I did that entire original cast. I don't remember how many of them they did, if they did more than 4. But then I did like Next Generation Star Trek Turtles, and you know, and there was Worf and all that stuff, and they were really, those were even cooler, I thought. And they went, and you know, they were thinking that now they have this like subgenre, you know, the Turtles, and they went for a meeting at Paramount or whatever it was, and Paramount was like, oh no, we can't do those because that's not funny. Kirk and Spock somehow was okay because that had become pop culture, but like, well, not Voyager, but Next Generation was like maybe even still on at the time. So you can't be making fun of stuff that is already supposed to be cool, you know, at the time.
And Jim, turning back to the comics, since Pete and Kevin got pulled away and really were no longer drawing or writing the Turtle stories, they turned to you guys to kind of take over most of the work on the comics. And did assuming that mantle at all make you nervous? You know, you're now in charge of writing stories and maybe doing most of the comic work.